Hello and welcome back to the Go-Karts and Good Times YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be picking up a car that I've wanted ever since I got into cars. It may not be anything special to you, but I would consider this a dream car of mine. The circumstances under which I am getting this car are a little bit strange though, so you'll just have to stay tuned and wait till I get there. It's probably in the title and thumbnail, so it's no secret anymore, but getting it home will be quite a journey. Instead of renting a U-Haul, I'm going to try and fit it on a small utility trailer. Being what it is, it's light and tiny enough, I think it'll fit. As you can see, this is quite the situation, but hopefully we'll be all right. Trailer hooked up, we just have to see what happens when we get there. Just like that, we've arrived. I mean, at least we got it on the trailer. It wasn't exactly easy to take videos while we got it loaded, but we managed to get it, with much struggle, I might add. Because of how light it is and because of how packed on the trailer it is, the ride home was relatively easy. Trailer returned, we can head home for good. Go ahead. It runs. Getting the car home and having heard it run for the first time, I'm a little bit assured by that for this purchase. Again, I'm sure it's in the thumbnail or the title, but for $200 with a title, this car really isn't bad whatsoever. It's dark out and it's supposed to rain shortly, so this is where I'm going to leave it tonight. Hopefully I can find a tarp to throw over this thing to keep it dry until the next time I can take a look at it. I've got the camera out because the Miata's been sat here for about a week now and we've gotten our first real snow, which means I think I actually want to put it inside rather than let it sit outside and get covered with snow. Sure, a tarp may suffice for keeping it mostly clean and dry, but it's still not perfect and it'll just lead to the degradation of the interior and the already rusted metal. This means that technically I'll be driving the car for the first time tonight. What I've already done is taken off the snipped transmission cooler lines and I'm going to loop both sides so that I can at least put it in gear and drive it into the garage. This isn't something you generally want to do, looping your transmission cooler lines, but I'll be moving at a short distance. It's cold out and it's full of fluid, so it should be fine. The same can be said about the radiator hoses, which are also unhooked because it has no radiator. I'll be running it for a very short period of time and I should be all right. I'm not doing a great job of keeping you up to date or showing you things, but that's because it's extremely cold out and I'm trying to get this done quickly. You can kind of maybe see the line that's looped down there with some clamps just well enough so that it doesn't dump out onto the ground. With the tarp off, you can finally see the little car that's underneath. I'm a little bit concerned about pulling it out of the snow on these donuts, but hopefully it has just enough grip to pull itself out. With the battery jammed in the junk-filled trunk and hooked up, now we can actually give it a try. The lifters are noisy because this thing sat for a long time, but this is just another proof that the engine runs fairly strongly. I'm going to try to get some wood jammed into the rear wheels, and if not, we'll have to tow it with a strap onto the driveway. I don't have much faith in the solution, but we'll give it another try.
Spinning.
No luck with the slippery donuts in the snow, so we're just going to tow it out of its resting place.
Forward.
car's moved into the garage, and unfortunately it's covered with snow, but this heater will help get the temperature up, get some of that snow melted, and what will kind of flood the garage. The heat will turn some of it to steam, and eventually the water will evaporate away. I don't think I'll be doing much to this anytime soon, but at least it has a place to stay now. Despite not being very impressive, that was actually my first drive of the car, and I think this is where I'm going to end it for tonight. So I'll pick up the camera next time I come out here, presumably to start cleaning it out. More Miata content. Even though I haven't ordered any parts because this is obviously going to sit aside while I fix the Impreza, I'm now going to pick up something it very much needs. As you've seen in previous video clips, and you can see here, the ground clearance and the amount of grip afforded by having donuts on all four corners of the car is very, very bad. This means that I'm finally going to be picking up an actual set of wheels for the Miata, and they aren't anything special, but I'll update you when I pick them up. Even though it's not a far drive, the sun sets super early, so this might look a little bit weird, but I'm going to pick them up and get them here just like that. We have the new wheels for the Miata. They may only be a stock set, but they're leagues better than the donuts that are currently on the car. They're a little bit dirty, and the tires on them are pretty old, but they're not dry rotted. There's no real damage to them, and they have a decent amount of tread left, so I think they'll serve as pretty good wheels for the meantime. These wheels are tiny compared to most other vehicles on the road, but they still look ridiculous next to the donuts. I'm not actually going to be putting them on yet. I just had to grab them because they were a good deal, but some other day I'll have to pull the car out and get them installed. The time has finally come to put the new wheels on the Miata, but the first challenge is getting it moved into the garage that has air. By air, I mean an air compressor and a nicer space to work in, so I don't have to blast the heater to get this garage barely warm enough. I guess for now, I'll toss you up on some kind of video on the tripod so you can watch me struggle to get this thing moved. Even just taking it up and down the driveway, I have to say already, it actually drives all right. I haven't experienced any higher speeds with it, but at least it moves under its own power. For now though, I can at least toss the wheels on and get it a little bit higher off the ground and see how it looks. Without further ado, I'll set you up on a hopefully satisfying time lapse of me getting the wheels swapped over. Even a set of dirty old stock wheels makes the car look so much better. Now I'm going to move on to the other side and show it to you when I get done with it. Just like the other side, the Miata looks way better on a real set of wheels and tires. I don't actually have the time to do any real wrenching on the car tonight, but I can at least start to get it cleaned out. This means removing all the junk from the interior and the trunk, the canvas extras with the car that I don't need and have the potential to be sold. Without further ado, it's time to fill up another garbage can with junk and get this car cleaned out. Some small satisfying task that I've been waiting to since I got it. Just like that, I've got a pile of parts and most of the junk cleared out of the car. As you can see, the car still has most of its interior, but on the floor here, I have the center console, the taillights, one of which is cracked, an airbag, the metal plate that goes underneath the steering column, a stock airbox, the nastiest carpet in the world from the trunk, and a pile of other stuff that is basically just duplicates of what I already have. A bunch of AC garbage, a windshield washer, reservoir, and some front fans. Because of the plans I have for the car, most of these parts will just be extras, just like for the last owner. I won't need AC or windshield washer fluid, as well as a couple of other amenities like heat or cruise control, all of which I can delete. For now, the windshield can stay because if I ever have to put the car outside again, I don't want water just being able to come in through the front here, even if I do have a tarp. But as it sits, I'm just going to package this stuff up in a box and probably grab the shop vac because Even though this interior is going to get completely gutted eventually, in the meantime, I should at least rid it of the random bits of nasty crap and old broken hardware from whoever disassembled this car in the first place. I will update you when both of those things are done, but beforehand, I just want to get a before of the vacuuming. Just look at all the junk that is accumulated inside the car. The passenger side is even worse, and just remember it was 10 times worse with the disgusting floor mats that I already pulled out. I just want to get this over with, so I'm going to use a little trick to get it done. Here it is. Just like that, it's done. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. For now, that's it. With just my luck, the only 50-degree day in December is on Christmas Eve, and unfortunately, it's also raining. Rain or shine, this is a great opportunity for me to finally get the engine bay of this car pressure washed, and maybe even stick it underneath the car to get all the grime that's built up washed off so I can see what I'm dealing with here. With real wheels and tires now, I'm actually confident that I can make it across the lawn to a spot where I can hook up the pressure washer. As always, I want to get a good before so that you can see the astounding difference after I actually get the thing washed up. Like I said earlier, the first challenge is actually getting the thing over there. Like that, the car's in the right spot, and I hope I don't have to state the obvious that the interior will get soaking wet, but the previous owner commonly left the window or top down anyway, so there's already water damage, and I'm not too concerned because it could use a bath anyway. I'm mostly going to be focusing on the front end, like the engine bay, but there's plenty of other dirty spots I can hit while I have it out. Without further ado, it's time to get soaking wet washing this car. After multiple rounds of spraying and then power washing the cleaner off, the car does look a little bit better. Now I just have to see if I can get it back on the driveway without getting stuck. Still far from perfect, but you can see all the debris from leaves and other crap that was blown out by the pressure washer. Fortunately, the rain is starting to let up, but I'm finally done. And you can see there's a decent difference in most spots, but in others the grime was just too caked on or stuck to the paint that I couldn't get it off. In any case, you can see a lot more rust in the engine bay, and that's about it. I am pleasantly surprised how much gunk I could get off though, and at least it's a lot better than it was for when I finally start tearing this thing down. I don't remember how much of a before I had, but the trunk is a lot better than it was. These carpets are toast anyway, so I'm not going to bother to shampoo them, but now would be a decent time to get the seats cleaned up. As long as I can hold off on buying actual seats for the car, I would like to use the stock ones, so I want to keep them from being disgusting. Ignoring the carpet, the seat has true potential for a crazy before and after. You can just see the growth from this thing getting wet, damp, and even moldy. As always, it's time to set up a time lapse and get working. Fortunately, the rain is all but stopped, and hopefully you can tell that the seat looks much better, especially this bottom area that used to be literally green. It's still a ripped old beat up seat from the 90s, but at least I can sit on it now without putting a piece of cardboard down. This now just leaves the other side, which was much better off in the first place, and then I'll be done getting this thing cleaned up for the day. With both seats now cleaned up, this car is the cleanest it's been in a long, long time. And with that, I think this is where I'm going to end it for tonight. After getting this video edited, I realized that introducing the car and getting it cleaned up a little bit is plenty enough to fill the first video, and I can unveil my plans for the car in the second video. This isn't really a holiday special by any means, but I figured I'd make it one because I am finishing the video on the day of Christmas. As you saw in the thumbnail, I did something a little bit special to get the car snazzed up and get it in holiday spirits. Like I said before, I'm going to finish the Impreza before diving into another project. I would love to start working on it, but I don't really have the time or space with that other project more important on my mind, being my daily driver and all. I didn't get a whole lot accomplished this video, but still I hope you enjoyed my little introduction to the 1990 Miata that I saved from the scrapyard. I also just want to say that whatever religion you follow or whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope you enjoyed them and I hope you're staying safe through this holiday season. I figure you should at least get one look of this masterpiece before I say goodbye. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate it if you liked, commented, or even subscribed to the channel. And for now, this is me signing off.